when it came with 2K, it was bad, bro. It was freshman year. No, it wasn't. Sophomore year of college, first semester, fall time. Uh, I've never been a in everybody's face kind of person. I was always just chill in the background. You know what I'm saying? But we used to always meet up in my one homeboy's apartment because he had one of the biggest rooms, or it was in the dorms, but he had like one of the handicap accessible ones. But we didn't actually have as many handicap people, so we were in there. One night, our homeboy that loved being in every girl's face invited two girls over. Right? That's cool. That's fine. That's what's up, bro. Uh, Now when they came over, we were just killing time, honestly. And then he told us that they were coming over. We were already gonna play 2K. That was a terrible idea in hindsight. Not for me, but for him, because I had been the only person that had really been playing 2K kind of heavily at the time. And basically, they came over. Everybody was chopping it up. The one girl that I didn't particularly have an affinity towards, uh, I don't know. At the time, I was playing one of our homeboys on 2K at the time. I'm kind of beating him. It was like a 13-point game, so I'm winning. But like, there's no need to like trash talk or anything. We're just playing the games. We're trying to stay cool, stay calm, stay relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he was a chill person, so we were background characters, anyways. My homeboy that brought the girls over starts just yapping, bro, and then he starts talking about how he would wax me in 2K. I'm not gonna take that lying down. My pride can't take that. And at the time, the one girl that I wasn't really feeling sat there. He was like, "So what girls y'all or what guys y'all like?" They both look around the room. The one that I didn't like looks at me, says, "Hey, stand up real quick." In my brain, I'm like, but I'm gonna stand up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be a bad person. I'm a respectful guy. So I stand up. She's like, him. She didn't say guys like him. She just said him. And I said, no, 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 no. Because the friend was the one that I cared. And it was one of those situations where the snacks were being protected by the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? I was not trying to get stuck in that situation. Lo and behold, they stepped out for a second and were chopping it up in the hallway or in the bathroom or something. And they came back in the room and they were cool, they were calm, they were collected. Shout out to them. Uh, so we just kept chopping it up. Now, my homeboy, we'll call him James for the sake of this story. James, who was saying that he would beat me in 2K, hops on the sticks now because I won the last game. That was the worst thing he could have did, right? Because he put me in a position to where I can't lose. Because I have a point to prove and I just got put in an uncomfortable situation. So if I don't wax you right now, I look bad. And any like the 2% chance that I had to get to the snacks instead of the fridge is zero, bro. We play. First quarter, he's talking crazy. Now, this was we were two mid teams, bro. Like we were like I'm talking like 2017, 2018 or 2018, 2019 Spurs versus like the Jazz. Like it was mid. It was mid versus mid, bro. Just random squads out there. We run in, bro. First quarter, he's talking trash. He's talking kind of crazy out the side of his neck about how he's gonna beat my ass in the game. I'm not gonna sit there and just take that. I said, all right, we finna see. We're running a couple lobs later, a couple threes later. I'm frying him badly. Like I'm talking, it's 23-7, right? That's not good. First quarter's not over yet. First quarter's over, it's 36-11. 36-11, 36-12, right? So he's losing. He's losing. This was like right after he was like he washed his hands, he wasn't on the squad anymore. I want low key, this might have been his year with the Raptors. I think that's what it was, the year that he got sent to the Raptors because he wasn't on the squad that year. So they weren't terrible, but they were like, eh. We're running, and it just gets worse. And at this point, I start talking shit back, right? And this is why I was an L man's, because he brought both girls over, so clearly he wanted one of the two of them, or he wanted to chop it up with one of the two of them. He wanted to look good in front of him, and that's why he was talking shit to me. But my thing is, I don't dirty Mac at all. I don't talk trash at all, especially in front of other people. I never be that homeboy that's like, yo, you still need my hotspot? Yo, bro, why you still wearing my jacket, bro? Let me get my jacket back, bro. When you gonna give it back, bro? I no, we don't do that at all. So when you start pressing me while I'm in front of people that I might mildly entertain, I feel some sort of way. I feel personally attacked, and I can't let you do that. Even though you're my homeboy, I gotta put you in your place. So we're running, and halftime, 74-21. He got quiet. He got quiet. I knew a homeboy that did a hotspot call out, bro, in person. Like that was nasty. It was bad. It was bad. All right. He was eating 50. He was eating 50 at this point. But he was gonna sit there, and he kept talking trash early into the third quarter. I'm beating him. In my brain, at first, I was like, if I can get to 100 points, I win this game. Right? I'm just trying to blitz. I'm trying to get on the fast break. I'm trying to get as many steals. Like I'm trying to get there. I was like, as long as I win this game, it don't really matter, right? If I beat him by 7, I'm good. If I beat him by 15, I'm good. I realized he was talking out of the side of his neck because he was not good at the game. He was terrible at the game. At first, the way he was talking, you know that one person that they'll talk about doing something. It doesn't have to be like a video game per se, but it could be like, it could be cooking, it could be driving, it could be anything. And they talk like they know what they're doing. They talk like they know what they're talking about. And they don't. He was that homeboy. And it wasn't until halftime. And by that time, I had been talking shit back to him, and he got quieter and quieter with each bucket I scored. And I didn't feel bad at the time until halftime hit. And I was like, I'm frying him right now. Why was he talking? And I look over at him, and he hits one of these. He just wipes the hair down. He had like a centimeter high afro, bro. He didn't even have waves or anything. He just brushed his hair down, bro, and he just sat there quiet. At which point I realized. But here's where I really became an L man's. Beating him in the beginning wasn't the L man's part. It was the fact that I got cocky. And in the third quarter, I started piling it on. And in the fourth quarter, when he was dead silent, like he wasn't saying anything, I finally stopped talking shit. But I started looking at our homeboys in the room, and I started smirking, bro. I started smirking. I feel bad about it now. Then I did not feel bad about it. I was like, yo, he was talking in my brain. I'm like, yo, he was talking cash. He was talking crazy to me. In front of somebody that I told him I was trying to get on. What is he what where was his brain at? He must think he's crazy. And I was like, bro, I had to let him know. You know what I'm saying? I had to let him know. You said brush never left your hands. That's why when I had waves since my I understand. I understand. He was pissing me off. So at the end of the game, it was 156-68. I've never scored that many points in a 2K game before then or after then. I didn't even know I was capable of doing such atrocities to any human being. He was quiet at the end of the game. He just had to take it. He just had to take it on the chin. A couple minutes after that, because we had, now important context, at the very beginning when they first came over, I guess we everybody exchanged like Snapchats or whatever, because Snapchat was popping then. I get a message on my phone. One of the girls is sitting behind me, the one that I wanted. The other girl was sitting in one of the rolly chairs to the side. I check my phone. It's the one that's sitting behind me, like on the bed, like literally. If I'm here, like she's like her feet are right here at the head of the thing. Now you can't really like tell the difference, I guess, but like it's like a 3 feet split. So I look at my phone, and I kid you not, the first message was, she said, I'm spending the night, but I don't get crushed on the first date. Now in my brain, there's two things that go off, right? It's like, did me absolutely brutally destroying him put me on the pedestal or was I winning before, right? That's number one. And number two, what does this message mean? Like, I understand why she didn't want to say it out loud in front of everybody, but I read it and I was like, so you're going to spend the night, but you don't get crushed on the first date. Like, I don't think this was a date, nor was I going to try and do that. I appreciate the forewarning, but like, it, the way she worded the message was weird to me. Cause it's like, if I wasn't planning on doing anything to begin with, right? You could have just said, is it cool? Is it cool if I just kick it with you tonight? But like, just like on some chill shit. That would have been like an acceptable message. And my brain would have been like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But like, you don't do anything on the first date. You call this a date? That told me off rip that she was a woman of the night. We'll call her. All right, that's what we refer to them as. Now, some schools, you call them by whatever dorm those type of people, those guys and girls happen to stay at. But we just called her one of the women of the night because that's exactly what the message told me. Interesting saga of my life. I'm not gonna go into too much detail as to what ended up being the happenings there. Yeah, it was a very very street mobile vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Word to Forza. You know what I'm saying? Need for Speed type gameplay. But yeah, that was the last time I felt bad, or the last time I really got to that point playing 2K. Uh, I don't feel bad about it anymore because that homeboy has made some very questionable decisions since that day, not necessarily with me, but with other friends that we have and with women that he has had in his life. And I don't agree with him. He's one of those homeboys that cheats. All right. I don't cheat. All right. I'm faithful. I'd rather just break up with you, tell you, hey, this isn't working, da da da. He just fell off a cliff. All right. And then in the beginning, it was like, the texting other girls type cheating. All right. That's cheating, but it's not the end of the world. When you have a baby mama and you post your daughter from that woman and your current girlfriend saying happy Mother's Day to the ladies in my life and leave out the baby mama who didn't do anything wrong to you, by the way, you cheated on her and that's why you guys split up. And you don't say happy Mother's Day to her. You're messy, you're loud. I can't do that anymore. Like that was the final strike. That was the final strike of the coffin. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I can't rock with him anymore. Like before, it was like I just need to keep my distance. Like if I see him, I'll dap him up or whatever. If we go to the gym, we'll hoop or whatever. Everybody's trying to run video games or whatever, we'll run it. After that, it was like, no, I can't be associated with that, bro. That's like having an apple that's like severely bruised in one specific spot, bro. And you look at it, and like in the beginning, it was just like a little bit of rot, and you're like, okay, I'll just take a knife and cut it off. But now it's like that whole half of the apple, bro. I can't ignore that, bro. Like some people, he's trying to ignore it. No, I'm not ignoring anything. I'm not ignoring anything. I don't do that. I don't do that. Not only are you a cheater, but you're disrespectful, bro. In the worst way possible. Like I can't fathom a worse way of disrespect because there's some people that didn't know you that thought the girlfriend and the baby mama's baby were mother and daughter. And I can't. That's messy. That's beyond messy, bro. But shout out to him and his I just had to do it to him. I just had to do it to him, you know what I'm saying? And like literally the day after we played that 2K game, I was like, dang, I really fried him like that in front of everybody, bro. He ain't getting no play. Nobody was trying to talk to him after that. That's really foul. I was really L man's. And then like a week later, I found out some more information about some stuff that he had recently been getting his hands into. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't want him to be with a woman. He's not going to treat him right. He's going to make whoever he ends up dating probably for the rest of his life, realistically. Even though, yeah, we're in our 20s and there's a lot of life to go. He might be one of those guys that just never mentally matures to the point where he needs to. He'll be 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, giving advice that is dog water advice, bro. Lukewarm hot dog water, boy, from boiling hot dogs. Like, he's going to be one of those guys. And that's unfortunate. But that's also not going to be my problem. Because I stood on business when it was my turn. Ha ha. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but it just randomly popped in my head. I don't recall very many stories. As many as I should, though. Facts, right? Like when you're young, it's one thing, but when you're perpetually something, right? It's no, no. Especially when you make excuses. If you like, there's how do I put it? If you make excuses for the fact that you needed to cheat consistently, something's wrong up here, right? Because if you can't respect her over and over and over again, right? The moment you saw anything that was attractive, as soon as you saw anybody with any semblance of, oh, this is the other thing, right? No disrespect to any of the girls that he's ever dated, but he would never hit on a girl that was above a 4.5, maybe a 5, right? He was a Hall of Fame shooter. He would make a 3 feel like she was a 9, and that's why he was kept being able to do the things that he was doing, because he was doing it to girls that didn't have the highest self-esteem, and they already weren't the most attractive. So most people, they had a limited bag of options to pull from, and he was the one that just kept being in their face, being the most consistent. And that's what really ticked me off a little bit. But yeah, um I hope yeah, yeah. He would gas, bro, bro. He the type of guy. Let me think of who's an ultimate role player, bro. You would think Ben Simmons actually ended up being LeBron James. You would think Ben's not. Let's backtrack. Let's take it down another step. Jonathan Simmons from the Spurs, number 17 from back in the day. You would think he was LeBron James. That's how he was talking to the girls. He made role players think they were MVP caliber players. And he didn't even mean it. That was the worst part. It's one thing if if that's your speed and you like somebody that looks a particular way, and maybe they're not conventionally attractive to most people. That's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? But if you just say that to get to an end and really use that person and waste their time, you're weird. You're weird. Yeah, there's got a couple loose screws up here, buddy. All right, because if somebody did it to you, you'd be the first person to say, "Oh no, that's backdoor, bro. That's crazy. Da, da, da. I don't know why she would do that." You would be the first person to do that. You wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take that L on the chin, real quiet. You wouldn't, and you know that. So why are you doing it to other people? You throwing stones from a glass house? Come on now. Simmons a bull, bro. I had to think back to my role players. I couldn't think of somebody super obscure, right? We couldn't necessarily go Raymond Sessions. We couldn't necessarily go, Michael Kidd Gilchrist. We had to somebody that had a little flash in the pan moment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and all that stuff stemmed from 2K.